Ask a question, get an answer. Judging by your silence, I'd say the answer is no.
Oh, wait. I don't want you to go.
That isn't the same as saying you want me to stay.
Look, it took me by surprise. You're wanting me to contribute to this blind storyline. And to be perfectly honest,
You thought that Megan had put me up to it, right? Wrong. It's all my idea.
And I think it's a wonderful idea. I really think that a blind storyline could help so many misunderstandings between sighted and sightless people.
Yeah, but this thing is never going to work unless we have a very believable, realistic character.
I would like to help you. I really would, but I am so swamped here at the center.
Bull!
I'm sorry?
Who's always telling me that Penny is doing an excellent job running this place?
I know. Penny is terrific, but the bottom line is
Sarah, I know the reason that you won't say yes.
And what is that?
You're looking at him.
Dear Brenda, forgive the smudge spots on the stationery. It's good old Texas dirt. I can't seem to wash the stuff off. Guess that means something, huh? The ranch is far from paradise, but it's getting there. The ground is so cold and hard you can't break it with a shovel, but I think it's going to be better come spring. And better as the seasons go by. I'd like to think Steve would be proud of the work his worthless brother Max has done.
Okay, we're going to bring that machine right in here. It's going to set up about... Brenda, what are you doing here?
I'm sorry. Listen, I'll leave, and so you guys can do your work.
No, it's all right. Fellas, why don't you go wait on the loading dock, and I'll check with you as soon as the machine gets here. Right?
You got it, Doc.
Okay. What's wrong?
That's what I wanted to see, my beautiful bride waiting for you to go home from lunch.
Asa, darling.
Everybody at the office is wondering why I've given up on the Commerce Club, but they don't realize how much better the menu is over here.
Darling, I have something wonderful to tell you. Wonderful news.
You struck oil in my backyard.
No, better. Thanks to amateur sleuthing, I figured it all out. I know who Viki's daughter is.
Hey now. What's wrong?
I got a letter from Max today, and I came in here to read it because I was embarrassed that I might get torn up out there.
Brenda,
at the
there is
nurse's
no
station
need for you to be embarrassed. Everyone in this hospital knows what you've been through. Come on. What does Max say?
Are you asking just to be polite or something?
Oh, yeah, right, polite. You ask the nurses on the 4th floor if I'm polite. Come on, sit down. Read the letter.
Okay. A few months from now, when things are in bloom here in Texas, and you're blooming yourself, you'll have to come for a visit. I want to show Steve's child what I've done with his dream. The barn almost has a roof now. The fences are almost repaired. And the horses almost treat me with a measure of respect. I've even picked out a pony for the baby to ride when it's not a baby anymore. Steve would like that, don't you think?
It sounds as if Max is sort of fulfilling Steve's dreams.
Yeah, it does.
So why are you sad?
Because those are the dreams that Steve and I wanted to share together. You know, he didn't want anything else in this world but a wife and a child that loved that ranch as much as he did. And here I am with his baby. And I'm not going to do this today. I just can't.
It's okay.
Listen, I'm sorry, and you will never have to see me like this again, I promise you.
Well, then that would be too bad, because that would mean that you're hiding your true feelings from me.
Well, then you should consider yourself very lucky.
Brenda, I would consider myself no different from the rest of the staff here. I have come to think that our friendship has gotten deeper.
Renee, you know what happens when you go snooping where Viki and her daughter are concerned.
No, darling. It's different this time. Now, I talked to Viki before she went to California, but I didn't tell her about my suspicions. But I am fairly convinced that her daughter is either Megan or Sarah Gordon.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm going to tell you something. I'm the son of Davy Crockett.
Darling, if you put the pieces all together, they fit. You know, ever since Viki made that announcement about Christine being her daughter, who has been in the forefront of her life?
That damn Leo.
No, Roger Gordon. He is supposed to be some globe-trotting environmentalist, but suddenly he puts down roots here in Landview?
His daughters live here. His daughters, Renee, not Viki's.
Yes, but it's interesting timing, don't you think? I mean, he was supposed to stop here for a short visit and then move out west. And suddenly something made him change his mind, and it just so happens it was on the day that Viki made her announcement about Christine.
Why does one thing have to connect to the other?
And darling, not only that, but he risked his life to save hers when he barely even knew her. Or so we thought.
He was just a good Samaritan. They do exist, you know.
Of course they do. But darling, it takes more than doing good to get a man to drive out to the woods, stay there all night in a blinding snowstorm.
You've been reading too many romantic novels, honey.
No, I have been putting together all the evidence. Darling, why do you think Viki went to California? She wanted to find out, did her father give Roger seed money to start his nature foundation 25 years ago? 25 years ago, Asa, that's the same age as Roger's daughters.
Are you telling me Viki's...
No, as far as I'm concerned, Viki is just concerned about Roger's connection with her father. She thinks that Roger is telling her something about what happened years ago, including what happened to her daughter.
And going to California shed light on that?
Darling, that is where EnviroCare has its headquarters. You see, if Victor Lord gave Roger some money to start an organization, that means that there is some kind of a link between Victor and Roger. And not only that, Sarah. According to Sarah, Roger actually admitted that he knew Viki way back when.
Does Viki remember him?
No, darling, of course not. How could she? That was the year that was completely erased by Lysander Clare's hypnosis.
I tell you something right now. I need a little magic power, too. You've got my head just going round and round and round.
No, darling. I know it seems confusing. But actually, my theory makes sense to everything. And why Roger Gordon is suddenly so important in Viki's life.
Just seems that way, honey.
Darling, we could talk about this until we're blue in the face, but it's Viki who has to make a final judgment on all of this stuff.
What are you doing?
She's on her way to California. I can leave a message at her hotel room.
You are calling nobody till I get that damn flaky idea out of your head.
Oh, you have nothing to do with my decision. I run a center here, and I just can't go racing off to a television studio to dole out advice.
What if that advice helps people?
Look, if you need a consultant, I would be more than happy to recommend one of our teachers.
No, I want the best. But if you're too embarrassed by your sister's attempt at being matchmaker so that you want to cut all ties to me...
Bo, I said no to your business proposition. Is it something more than that?
Bingo. The lady is right on target. It's friendship. I respect you as a woman and as an expert in your field. That's why we need you at Fraternity Row. But if you can't deal with me, there's really no need to take it out on the actors who are trying to make this story work.
You know, you and Megan ought to go into business together, huh? Psychoanalysis, 5 cents.
That'd be great. You could be our one and only patient.
Then you can understand why I don't want to go to Fraternity Row. Megan's always racing around telling me how I feel. The two of you together, I don't think I could stand
we
it.
would not let you hide from yourself. Or from me either. I guess that's what you call an occupational hazard.
Look, I think you're going to have to find yourself another expert.
How about a counter proposal? Okay, you come with me to WVLE and you can watch the taping this afternoon and then you can see for yourself.
But, Bo,
Forget all about Megan. Forget about me. Just talk to the actors. Talk to the writers about this story. Because I think you'll see, in spite of the hazards, that you could be a vital part of the creative process.
The creative process? Is that a term you use to recruit people?
Yeah, but I usually throw in a free lunch. That's what really gets me. What? Is the answer yes?
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, what are you saying?
Okay. Are you a betting man?
It depends on the bet.
Got a quarter?
Yeah, I think so, but...
Come on, hand it over.
What are you going to do, toss a coin?
Bingo. The man hits the nail on the head. Heads, I stay here and I do my job. Tails, you win. I go to Fraternity Row.
Okay, let's see.
Just a minute. Tails, you win. I go with you to Fraternity Row.
Just like that?
Just like that.
I never thought of you as being the type of woman who would make up her mind with just the toss of a coin, you know? What if that'd come up heads?
It did. Listen, I have to tell you something. I've always been sort of secretly stage struck, you know? So whether it's behind the scenes or in front of the camera, I don't care. This is my big break.
Oh, I'm so glad that you didn't lose your sense of humor at Michael Grand's party. You still mad at Megan, though, for stealing me away?
Are you trying to say I've been sort of overly sensitive?
Have you?
Knock it off. Yes, I have been, and I don't want you to take it personally, you know. You or Megan. It's just been this whole thing with Dad.
What's the matter with Roger now?
I don't know. I felt for a long time like Dad's been keeping something from me. And lately, he'll start to tell me, but then he just gives me bits and pieces of it. And then Mom shows up in town, and the two of them are just at each other's throats again.
Just a minute. I thought you said that they hardly ever even speak.
Yeah. Sometimes I think it would be better if they didn't. Am I boring you with this whole thing?
No, just the opposite. No, I know some of the problems that your dad has caused you, but your mom, you know, she's still a mystery woman.
I don't know if I'd call her a mystery woman. She's somewhat of a powerhouse, you know. My mother always has this way of dominating my life, even if she's not in the room.
Well, I guess I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm not being a bully, Renee. I'm just looking out for Viki. You saw what she went through with that Leo and Christine. You want a repeat?
Of course not.
All right, till you're 100% sure about Viki's daughter, whoever she is, we are not disrupting her life over some idle speculation.
And what makes you think it's idle speculation?
Look at the back page.
Yeah, so it's an ad in the newspaper.
It's not just an ad. Read it.
Are you the best you can be? Expand to your full potential through the science of inner dynamics. Carrie Gordon will show you how. Free lecture today at the Lambview Civic Center. Is this supposed to mean something?
It means that Megan and Sarah's mother's alive and well. She goes around the country helping the inner beings of people or some other such nonsense.
Darling, it's not nonsense to the people on the show. I have seen her. She works wonders.
The point is, she's a woman to be reckoned with. And she's not going to take kindly to you coming into her life and claiming that one of her daughters belongs to Viki.
You know, it's real funny that you're telling me about Carrie Gordon right now. I've seen her on those shows. She talks about her family and her marriage and how they all live separate lives and how good it is.
So?
So? What an amazing coincidence. Suddenly she shows up here in Llanview, where her ex-husband lives, and her daughter. Darling, I have seen this woman on talk shows. She would never do something like that unless she had a compelling reason to do so.
I don't give a fig about a reason. I care about Viki. And I'm asking you not to tell anyone your theory till you have rock-solid proof.
But Asa, darling, all right, I'll do it your way.
That's my girl. I'm going to have to skip lunch. I've got an appointment with Clint. Rain check?
Absolutely.
Good girl.
Oh, Asa, darling, I just might be late to dinner tonight because I have an appointment of my own.
Oh, I know. You're going to the beauty parlor. Why do you go there when you're so beautiful? You tell that Darlene. Tell her not to mess with what the good Lord made into perfection. You hear me?
I promise, darling. Don't worry, Asa. I may just miss my appointment with Darlene.
Well, I think of you as more than just a friend. I think of you in a very special kind of way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of way is that?
Well, you're my first friend that I made here in Landview, and I feel that I can come to you at any time with anything.
Yeah. So how come I had to find out from someone else that you fainted the other day up in the nurse's lounge?
Who told you that? I made everybody promise.
Brenda, it doesn't matter. Hey, it doesn't matter who told me. Now, everyone in this hospital is concerned about you. And it goes double for me. Everyone here wants to help you, Brenda, but we can't unless you let us help you. Now, for starters, you've got to ease up on your schedule.
Larry, we've been around and around about this. I need to...
I am not asking you to quit. I simply think you've got to ease up on it. And I'll tell you something else. If you continue to have these dizzy spells, I'm going to run some more tests, much more intensive tests.
Well, what if I don't want any more tests, Larry?
Well, you're too big to spank and too old to bribe with candy. I'm going to have to rely on our friendship.
Well, you're the doctor. Let me finish this up here, and then I could probably use a nap over there at the nurse's lounge.
Good. Now you're talking. Besides, they're going to be bringing this X-ray machine in here, setting it up. It's going to be kind of hectic for a while. I'll come up to the nurse's lounge when they finish testing the equipment.
You don't have to worry about me like this.
What if I want to?
Larry? Oh, come here. Thank you.
There you are. How long is it going to take to set this thing up?
15 minutes, tops.
Okay. All right. You tell Dr. Franklin I'll be down there as soon as it's there. Okay? See.
We should have told him. Right. We say we banged this thing unloading it. And they'll have our jobs.
Yeah, but the timer could have been damaged.
Relax. There's a backup timer.
Yeah, but we don't have any guarantee about
You
the
want to
timer.
go back to cleaning bedpans?
Okay. We'll hook it up. But if something goes wrong, I'm not going to
What
give it.
could go wrong? Come on. Move it.
Well, honey, aren't you going to make the introductions?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Mrs.
Bo
Buchanan.
Buchanan. Mrs. Gordon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Any relation to Victoria?
Yeah, she's my sister-in-law. Do you know Viki?
Just by reputation. Well, the Buchanans obviously the family around here in Landview. My daughters do nothing but sing your praises.
Well, that's good news.
Mom, is something wrong?
No, honey. Why should there be?
Well, you were here less than an hour ago, and you said you needed some time to yourself, so...
Oh, yes, well, I've gathered my strength together, and I'm ready to face my public. In fact, the reason I came by was to see if you're going to come and see my lecture this afternoon. And why don't you bring Mr. Buchanan with you?
Watch out, Bo. She doesn't like to take no for an answer.
I know that. I've read some of your books.
Which ones? Just kidding. I'm flattered. Sarah, honey, why don't you seriously bring him along? It's 4 o'clock at the Civic Center.
I'll tell you, Mom, I'd love to, but I think I've done all the self-improving I can for a day or two.
I'm all for self-improvement, but I've got a television show that I have to tape. But, Sarah, if you'd rather...
No. You hired me, remember? I'm sorry, Mom. I'd love to, but I have to go to work.
Are the two of you working together?
Yes. Bo has a new storyline on Fraternity Row, and he's asked me to be a consultant.
It's quite a deal, isn't it, Mrs. Gordon? I've got both your daughters on the payroll.
It's absolutely fascinating. And does Megan know that you're going to be working on the same set with her?
Not yet. I'm sure she's going to be just thrilled.
Yeah, well, knowing Megan, that's one way of putting it. Well, I have to wish both of you a lot of luck, especially you, Mr. Buchanan. I've got to go get motivated now. Bye-bye, honey.
Bye.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Buchanan.
It's Bo. It's Bo. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Gordon. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
Well, good. Then let's get going. I think it's about time that Sarah Gordon got into showbiz.
Tiffany, we rushed over as soon as we heard the news.
Honey, are you all right? I don't know. The doctors keep telling me that I'm going to be okay, but,
But what, Tiffany?
you worried about your headaches? Yeah, the headaches. I didn't realize that I'd hit the dashboard so hard, but then I... Damn it, I can't do this.
Mary Lynn, what's the matter?
Everything. That's what's the matter. How am I supposed to concentrate on this stupid dialogue after...
Did I say something? No, Audrey, it wasn't you. Mary Lynn, it's okay. Cry if you have to.
Oh, crying's not gonna help. Wade's gone.
Oh.
He's gone, and there's nothing that I can do about it.
I get it. This is all about your hubby leaving. Is that it?
Audrey.
Oh, listen, I can sympathize with you, honey. I mean, I can't even tell you how many men I've known who ended up on the wrong side of the law. Audrey, please.
No, Megan, let her talk. I don't understand it. Maybe Audrey can help me.
Well, first, I really need to get my facts straight. I mean, all I've really heard around the set is that Wade took a powder. I mean, did he steal a car, or what'd he do?
I wish it were that simple. Do you know Christine Cromwell?
That little brunette that works at Angel Burger?
Yeah. Well, her father is a fugitive from justice. And Wade helped him escape to Canada. Now he's wanted by the police. How could he do something like this?
Mary Lynn, Wade loves you. I'm sure there's some kind of explanation for this.
Megan, I keep telling myself that. But Wade has risked our marriage, prison, and everything for Christine. Which only means one thing. That he loves her, not me. Say something, one of you, please. He's not coming back, is he?
Mary Lynn, honey, listen. Let me give you a little constructive advice based on years of experience. There are only 2 words for guys like Wade. Good riddance.
I only hope you and the baby will be able to come and see for yourselves. If you two approve of all I've done, then I'll know that Steve would be proud of me too. Till then, all my love, Max.
I better get...
Okay, let's bring it into the other room. Let's move it to the center. Easy, easy, easy. You gentlemen have been briefed on installation, or should I call downstairs?
Oh, no, Dr. Franklin. I mean, we know how to set it up.
Yes, sir. No problem.
These machines are built to run themselves.
And they've got backup systems on top of systems.
Fine. Then as soon as you get it ready, we'll call Dr. Wallach and begin the tests.
In here?
No. We'll operate the machine by remote control from behind this glass partition. Dr. Wallach doesn't want anyone in the room during the initial test. Let's go check on the remote device.
Yes, sir. Whatever you say.
Mary Lynn, I'm not trying to rub salt in your wound or anything here. I'm just trying to tell you what I had to learn the hard way. When some guy starts going to the mat for another woman, it is time to kiss the creep goodbye.
We are not talking about some guy here or a creep. We're talking about Mary Lynn's husband, Audrey.
Well, so what? That only makes it worse.
No, the only thing that's making things worse is your so-called advice.
You know what, Megan? I really resent that because she asked me for my opinion.
No, she asked us for our help, not Audrey's advice for lovelorn.
Well, I think she could do a lot worse.
Stop it, please. Look, I know that you are only trying to help me in your own way, and I'm really grateful for that.
Honey, I just don't want to see you torture yourself.
And I don't want to see her giving up hope. I don't care what Audrey says. I don't think all men are creeps.
Sure they are. Some of them are worth it, that's all.
Audrey, let her talk. She's the only person that's made me smile all day.
Okay, think about it. If nature has a purpose for everything, right? I mean, they teach us that in high school, right?
Okay, so now you've given us your street-wise advice on men, and now we've got to hear something about your science?
The two happen to go hand in hand. It is called biology.
Okay,
Nature has a purpose for everything. We've established that. For instance, bees make honey and cows give milk.
Okay, Captain Whiz, we get the idea.
All right, then. Consider men.
What about them?
That's my point exactly. I mean, what are men for, anyway? Besides that, and that almost doesn't even count because, they just roll over and go to sleep, and then what are you left with? You got this snoring thing next to you, and when he's awake, all he does is eat nachos and drink beer, and you never get to watch a good black and white movie on TV because there's always some stupid game on the tube. I ask you, is that what nature intended?
I think nature had loftier ambition.
Yeah, well, I guess Mother Nature just blew it when it came to guys because, well, that brings me to my exact point. A girl has got to be discriminating. You got to go through a lot of hero sandwiches before you get to a real hero. Am I coming through?
Like a medieval theologian. Listen, I wouldn't take this sage advice. I would just put a little faith into your husband.
Megan, I've been living on faith for a long time. Too long. I keep hoping that Wade is going to come to me and say that we can have a second chance with our marriage. But he can't even do that now. Because he's wanted by the police, and if he sets foot on American soil, he'll be arrested and put in jail.
Well, if you ask me, you're better off without him.
Yeah, well, nobody is asking you, Audrey. Okay, I admit, men aren't perfect. I've got my own battle scars. But you and Wade have been through too much to give up hope on him right now.
Do you still hold out hope for Max?
This is a different situation. You exchanged vows and rings with Wade.
Oh, yeah, well, a lot of good that did her. Where was he when she really needed him?
Okay, so maybe he wasn't here today, and maybe he won't be here tomorrow, but that is no reason for her to give up hope that he won't come home and want to work things out.
Megan, I admire your optimism. I only wish that I could share in it. But this is real life. This is not some script that we've rehearsed. And Audrey's right. My marriage is over.
Marilyn.
No, I'm sorry, guys. Just rehearse without me. I have to go to makeup.
So I should stick to the banner business, and you'll handle Buchanan Enterprises. Is that it?
No, not at all. Now that Bo's wrapped up with that fraternity TV show, I'm going to be relying on you more and more.
Well, glad to oblige.
Well, you're also going to have to reciprocate. You're going to have to, I'm going to have to be of some help to you, too.
Fine. What do you got in mind?
No, nothing specific.
What do you mean, nothing specific? Everything's specific with you, Pa. Now, what do you got in mind?
Why are you always so suspicious, huh? All right. Did you hear from Viki?
Matter of fact, I did. She called me from California just before I met you at your office. Why?
She all right?
Seems to be. She's got a meeting set up with this Lovett woman, that lady who helped Roger Gordon establish EnviroCare.
Well, it seems to me it's a long way to go for a meeting.
Well, you know, Viki, she'd go to the ends of the world to find a clue that would help her find her daughter.
Viki's convinced this Lovett woman can help?
So she says. I just hope she finds what she's after and hurries home.
Is that what you want?
Sir?
I was wondering, Viki keeps searching like this could bring unhappiness to you as well as to her.
Paul, you've got something you want to say. Just say it.
It's not what I want to say. It's something Renee said. It's smoke, of course, but sometimes with the smoke, there's...
Paul, look, now you don't have to protect me. What did Renee say?
Renee is playing amateur detective again. She was going to call Viki long distance to tell her latest theory. I stopped it, of course. But she put a lot of things in my head that I can't get out of, and I was hoping that you could put her theory to rest.
Fine. I have to know what her theory is first.
And it's Roger Gordon. She seems to think he put his roots down here for one reason.
His daughters, they live here now.
That's why he risked his neck to save Viki up in the mountain. That's why he's hovering around your family ever since.
He's become a friend.
A fast friend. And another thing, his wife, Carrie Gordon. She and Roger have been estranged for years, and now she's here now.
Get to the point, Pa.
The point is this, Clint. Roger's made a habit of being in Viki's daily life. And more than that, he knew Viki 25 years ago.
She told me.
That's the year lost in Viki's memory. That's the year her baby was born. Now, I don't buy any of this, believe me. Renee is convinced that Roger Gordon is the father of Viki's baby. I'm sorry, son. I didn't mean to lay this on you, but better you than Viki.
Roger Gordon?
Look, it's some harebrained idea of Renee's. I was thinking you and I dispel it before Viki hears it from Renee. Clint, you're not putting any stock in this.
I sure as hell don't want to, but I don't know what to believe anymore, Pa. I mean, ever since I found out that Leo and Christine were part of the same scam, I guess I've been hoping that Viki's lover and her daughter would just kind of fade away. Apparently that isn't going to happen. And Viki's not about to quit searching until she finds the truth.
Clint, the truth is getting harder and harder to find. Let's forget Renee's idea, huh? What are you looking at that for? That is just a foolish ad.
Expand to your full potential through the science of inner dynamics. Carrie Gordon will show you how.
Oh, that's all this family needs. Another flake to mess up our lives. I'm going to tell you something, Clint. If I hadn't stopped Renee from going to that lecture, believe me, she'd have asked that woman if Megan or Sarah were her daughter or Viki's. Where are you going?
Well, somebody's got to know how to get to the bottom of this mystery, Pa. Maybe it's Carrie Gordon.
Well, it's some piece of equipment, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. Well, Doctor, you ready to start the test?
Tell you what, Bob, I'm looking for one of the nurses, Brenda McGillis. You haven't seen her, have you?
Sorry, no. Why, is she supposed to witness the test?
No, she just was feeling a little weird, and I sent her up to the nurses' lounge to rest, but when I went up there, she wasn't there.
Well, we could have her paged.
I already did that.
Excuse me, Dr. Franklin, Dr. Woolite. The remote unit is set up.
Good work. We can watch the first test through the glass. Larry?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Can you hold on for just 1 minute, Bob? I want to check, see if I can find Brenda. I'll be right back. It's a typical day at Fraternity Row.
Sure you still want this job, Mr. Producer?
Told you, I love a challenge.
No. Look, that chair belongs in the police station scene. This is a hospital, remember?
Hey, Joe, how's it going?
Tell him to ask. Oh, I'm sorry, boss. No, there's nothing to worry about if you're a man who loves chaos. No, those flowers, they stay here.
Joe, listen, I've got an idea. Why don't you go on up to the control room, have an aspirin, and just relax. Tell everybody to get ready so we can start taping. I'll look out for things here.
Bo Buchanan, I love you.
Oh. At least somebody does.
And I thought the center was exciting. My God, I don't know how you stay calm amidst all this panic.
Well, it's easy. See, I'm too ignorant to know enough about what really goes on in television. But I do know enough to think that we need some actors around here to get going. Megan?
Oh, hi.
Where is everybody?
Well, we've had a small crisis. Sarah, hi, what are you doing here? Just observing. I hope you don't mind. No, why would I mind?
Megan, what's the crisis?
Well, it's Mary Lynn. I don't know if you heard, but she was attacked this morning at her home, Randy Stone.
God, is she all right?
Yes, she is. Luckily, Neil Delaney, who's the president of her fan club, happened to be in the area, and he ran in and saved her just in time.
Where's Randy Stone right now? Did the police have him?
No, they didn't catch him. He got away. And unfortunately, Rafe showed up and then gave Mary Lynn some more bad news. Apparently, Wade has skipped the country with Christine and her father.
God, that's unbelievable.
Mary Lynn must be devastated.
Yeah, well, she's not doing too well. She's in her dressing room right now trying to pull herself together. I think she could lose it at any minute.
I'm going to tell her to go on home. We'll tape her stuff tomorrow.
No, you know, I think she really wants to stay here and work. Keeps her mind off her troubles.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, well, just pass the word around. Just tell everybody to go easy on her, especially in that scene she has when Tiffany goes blind.
You know, I'm glad I decided to come and help after all.
Help? I thought you were just here to observe.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too.
No, I'm not just visiting. I'm working here. That is, unless you're reneging on your offer.
What offer?
Bose asked me to be consultant for the blind storyline.
Oh.
Looks like my timing's finally perfect, huh?
Excuse me, is this seat taken? Oh, thank you. I've never seen Carrie Gordon in person before. I hear she's fascinating.
She's a miracle worker.
Really?
Before I found inner dynamics, I was a wimp. Now I don't take bull from anyone. Would you take that hat off, please?
Fancy meeting you here. Hi, Renee.
Hi.
Excuse me. Would you mind moving down a seat?
As a matter of fact, I would.
Now, come on. This lady's a friend of mine.
I didn't realize that you needed self-improvement.
Well, I could say the same thing to you. What are you after? Some inner dynamics or more detective work?
Both interest me. And you?
Well, I guess Asa is just going to have to be mad at both of us. It's a chance we're going to have to take.
Now, most lectures begin with a speaker thanking the audience for coming, but this time, I think you ought to thank yourselves, because what you're going to learn today is going to change your lives forever.
I have a terrible feeling she just might be right.
Pass among you with some material that I'd like you to take a look at. Don't worry, there's not going to be an exam. This is just a handy reference guide to help you to chart your progress. We'll take a few minutes to look it over, and then we'll resume.
By all means, darling, assert yourself. Thank you.
Excuse me, while we're on this break, may I have a few words with Mrs. Gordon?
Mrs. Gordon only answers questions at the end.
Oh, no, this is personal. Would you tell her I'm Clint Buchanan?
I'm sorry,
Just
sir,
do
but...
it, hon. We're asserting ourselves. Mr. Buchanan, why am I not surprised to see you here?
Mrs. Gordon, may I introduce Renee Buchanan?
Ah, Asa Buchanan's wife. Of course. I'm a big fan of yours, Miss Gordon. Well, thank you. I'm flattered. My daughters have nothing but wonderful things to say about the Buchanan family.
Well, we feel the same way about Sarah and Megan.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. You said that you're not surprised to see me?
No, I'm not, Mr. Buchanan. I'm a great believer in destiny. And when something needs to be said, those who need to hear it seek out those who need to say it. I've been waiting to meet you for quite a while. I wanted to talk to you about Sarah for a long time.
What's wrong, Megan? I thought you'd be really pleased that Bo and I are going to be working side by side.
No, I'm thrilled. I think it's great. I just never realized you took such interest in our work here. Trivial. Isn't that the word you used for TV?
Look, Meg, I've decided that I'm going to try to be more receptive, okay, to a lot of things. I'm only going to be here on a part-time basis, and I'm just going to be consulting. I'll leave all the acting to you.
Oh, thank you.
Bo, there's a new man I think you should meet.
Okay, I'll be right there, Joe. Thanks. Will you ladies excuse me?
Well, you learn pretty fast, don't you, sis?
What are you talking about?
Oh, come on. Don't be coy with me. Obviously, you are here for other reasons than just consulting.
Megan, Bo came and asked me to consult on the blindness story. I mean, how could I refuse?
How indeed. So much for all this talk about trying not to work it out with Bo. A closet romantic, just as I thought.
You know, I really think you ought to work on this cynicism problem of yours. It's a job. Nothing more.
Just a job.
That's right. Of course, if something else should come out of it, as I said, I'm going to try to be a little more, receptive to things.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Ross. I didn't know the producer had to greet each new grip personally.
In this instance, it's necessary. Ross isn't his real name.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You're the undercover officer that Herb and Rafe sent over?
Yes, sir. I'm here to back you up.
Well, I hope that you won't be needed. Lieutenant Garrison probably told you. Joe is the only other person that knows that you're here to look out for Randy Stone or whoever it is that's been stalking this set.
Ross has already been mixing in with the cast and crew. Everybody accepts his cover.
That's great. Any sign of trouble?
No, everything seems normal so far. I'll try not to bump into the scenery and keep my eyes open.
Good. I'm glad to have you with us. Because this ship carries some precious cargo. Can't let our guard down for a minute.
I'm sorry for the delay.
Did you find Nurse McGillis?
No, I left messages all over the place, though.
Look, Larry, if you'd rather delay the test.
No, it's all right. We've waited a long time in the hospital for this. Let's get it started.
Okay, here goes.
Wow, that's amazing. It works.
Now we can bring in a dummy patient, set it up, see how it scans. And as soon as the automatic clicker checks in.
Isn't it supposed to stop by itself after a few seconds?
Yeah, I thought so too. We'd better go to the backup switch automatically.
Not turning off, Bob.
Damn, I knew this newfangled device was too good to be true. You know, the timers must have been damaged in transit.
Well, there's something sure as hell's wrong. It's lucky there's no one in that room. They'd be getting a serious dose of radiation.